Welcome to this block of instruction on the recruitment, selection, and hiring policies and practices for the Notre Dame College Police Department. My name is Assistant Chief Dino McNeil, and I will be your coordinator for this course. This policy provides a framework for employee recruiting efforts and identifying job-related standards for the selection process. This policy supplements the rules that govern employment practices for the Notre Dame College Police Department and that are promulgated and maintained by the Notre Dame College Human Resources Office. This policy contains content that pertains to the following Ohio Collaborative Law Enforcement Agencies certification standards: 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, and 2.7. In accordance with applicable federal, state, and local law, the Notre Dame College Police Department provides equal opportunities for applicants and employees regardless of race, gender expression, age, pregnancy, religion, creed, color, national origin, ancestry, physical or mental handicap, genetic information, veteran status, marital status, sex, or any other protected class or status. The Department does not show partiality or grant any special status to any applicant, employee, or group of employees unless otherwise required by law. The Department will recruit and hire only those individuals who demonstrate a commitment to service and who possess the traits and characteristics that reflect personal integrity and high ethical standards. The Chief of Police should employ a comprehensive recruitment and selection strategy to recruit and select employees from a qualified and diverse pool of candidates. This strategy should include identification of racially and culturally diverse target markets, use of marketing strategies to target diverse applicant pools, expanded use of technology and maintenance of a strong internet presence. This may include an interactive department website and the use of department-managed social networking sites if resources permit. Expanded outreach through partnerships with media, community groups, citizens academies, local colleges, universities, and the military. Employee referrals and recruitment incentive programs, and consideration of shared or collaborative regional testing processes. The Chief of Police shall avoid advertising, recruiting, and screening practices that tend to stereotype, focus on homogeneous applicant pools, or screen applicants in a discriminatory manner. The Department should strive to facilitate and expedite the screening and testing process and should periodically inform each candidate of his or her status in the recruiting process. The Department shall actively strive to identify a diverse group of candidates that have in some manner distinguished themselves as being outstanding prospects. Minimally, the Department should employ a comprehensive screening, background investigation, and selection process that assesses cognitive and physical abilities and includes review and verification of qualifying credentials. The following are the steps that consist of the employment selection process for the Notre Dame College Police Department. Applicants must successfully complete all steps to be eligible for employment as a police officer or as an auxiliary police officer with the department. Successful completion of an examination through the National Testing Network. Successful interview conducted by an interview board consisting of members of the Notre Dame College campus community. The board will consist of members of the faculty, staff, administration, police department, and the undergraduate student government. The specific composition of the board would be determined by the Chief of Police. The candidates will be evaluated by this board on the following criteria: their appearance, their manner and bearing, their ability to present ideas, their alertness, their self-confidence, and a general evaluation. Applicants must successfully complete a background investigation. They'll be required to complete a personal history questionnaire through the National Testing Network, which will be the basis for the background investigation. Applicants must provide truthful information on the questionnaire. Failure to provide truthful information will be the basis for removing the applicant from the certified list. At a minimum, the Notre Dame College Police Department will verify the applicant's qualifying credentials, review the applicant's criminal record, verify a minimum number of personal and employment references, and thoroughly review the personal history questionnaire. Applications for positions are not rejected because of minor omissions or deficiencies that can be corrected prior to the testing or interview process. They must successfully complete the Achiever Assessment Testing System. Applicants who are seriously being considered for employment will be required to complete a personality assessment evaluation prior to being hired. This examination is designed to assess the suitability and character of the applicant being evaluated. A successful final interview with the Chief of Police must also be completed. Applicants who are seriously being considered for employment will be required to be interviewed by the Chief or his designee at a minimum of 2 points in the selection process. The Chief of Police will be evaluating the candidates on the following factors: appearance, manner and bearing, ability to present ideas, their alertness, their self-confidence, and a general evaluation. Applicants must successfully complete a polygraph or voice stress analysis test or successfully complete another truth verification test if requested. Applicants who are seriously being considered for employment may be required to submit to an evaluation of their character and integrity through the application of a polygraph test, a voice stress analysis examination, or another means of truth testing verification as an investigative aid. Admissions made during pre-test or post-test interviews, together with other information, may be sufficient to support decisions relevant to employment status. Deception to relevant questions during any part of the examination that's corroborated by other investigative means may eliminate the applicant from further consideration. The applicant must also successfully complete a drug screen. Applicants who are seriously being considered for employment may be required to submit and pass a comprehensive drug screen. Successful completion of a physical subsequent to a conditional offer of employment may also be required. This examination will be used to identify any medical problems which may inhibit work performance, shorten a career, or contribute to work-related disabilities. Every candidate shall undergo a thorough background investigation to verify his or her personal integrity and high ethical standards, and to identify any past behavior that may be indicative of the candidate's unsuitability to perform duties relevant to the operation of the Notre Dame College Police Department. Background investigators shall ensure that investigations are conducted and notices provided in accordance with the requirements of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Due to the potential for accessing an unsubstantiated, private, or protected information, the Chief of Police should not require candidates to provide passwords, account information, or access password-protected social media accounts. The Chief of Police should consider utilizing the services of an appropriately trained and experienced investigator or third party to conduct open-source internet-based searches and/or review information from social media sites to ensure that 1. The legal rights of candidates are protected, 2. Material and information to be considered are verified, accurate, and validated, and 3. That the Department fully complies with applicable privacy protections and local, state, and federal law. Regardless of whether a third party is used, the Chief of Police should ensure that potentially impermissible information is not available to any person involved in the candidate selection process. The background investigator shall summarize the results of the investigation into a report that includes sufficient information to allow the reviewing authority to decide whether to extend a conditional offer of employment. The report shall not include any information that is prohibited from use, including that from social media sites, in making employment decisions. The report and all supporting documentation shall be included in the candidate's background investigation file. The background report and all supporting documentation shall be maintained in accordance with the established records retention schedule of Notre Dame College. As a general rule, performance indicators and candidate information and records shall be evaluated by considering the candidate as a whole and taking into account the following factors: the age at the time the behavior occurred, passage of time, patterns of past behavior, severity of behavior, probable consequences if past behavior is repeated or made public, likelihood of recurrence, relevance of past behavior to public safety employment, and aggravating and mitigating factors, and other relevant considerations as well. A candidate's qualifications will be assessed on a case-by-case basis using the totality of the circumstances framework. While a candidate's qualifications and history will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis, due to the nature of the police service, there are certain offenses that a candidate may have committed that are not consistent with the mission of the department, the professionalism and credibility of its officers, and the core values of the department. With this in mind, there are a number of offenses which will render a candidate to be automatically disqualified from consideration for employment as a police officer or as an auxiliary police officer by the Notre Dame College Police Department unless that candidate has been granted an exemption by the Chief of Police. Those offenses are listed in Section 1000.6.1 of the Notre Dame College Police Department Policy and Procedure Manual. Applicants may also be removed from the process for any of the following reasons: if they fail to appear for their initial interview or any other interview or final interview during the selection process; if they fail to appear for a polygraph examination or a voice stress analysis examination or other truth verification interview; if they fail to appear for their drug screen; if they fail to appear for their medical test; if they fail to take the achievement assessment examination; if they fail to respond to background investigators' phone calls or correspondence; if the background investigator is unable to locate an address or phone number on file for the applicant; if the applicant is no longer considered in employment with the department. Once hired, prior to assuming a sworn status, all applicants appointed to the sworn position will be required to take an oath of office. Applicants who are hired by the department must attend a department field training program. The length of the Notre Dame College Police Department field training process will be at the discretion of the department's field training officer and the Chief of Police. New officers must complete all components of the field training program to maintain their employment. Regardless of time and service with the department, all members of the Notre Dame College Police Department are at-will employees and as such can be dismissed from their positions at any time and for any reason or for no reason. Therefore, there is no designated probationary employment period. However, the leadership of Notre Dame College and of the Notre Dame College Police Department understand that a substantial investment of time, resources, and money is made in our employees, and it's the desire of the department's leadership to create an environment where all officers can maximize their potential to achieve success while employed with the department. With this in mind, department leaders and trainers will engage in teaching, coaching, mentoring, and counseling activities with officers and staff whenever and wherever appropriate. All candidates shall meet the minimum standards required by state law for employment. Candidates will be evaluated based on merit, ability, competence, and experience in accordance with the high standards of integrity and ethics valued by the department and the campus community. Validated job-related and non-discriminatory employment standards shall be established for each job classification and shall minimally identify the training, abilities, knowledge, and skills required to perform the position's essential duties in a satisfactory manner. Each standard should include performance indicators for candidate evaluation. The Notre Dame College Human Resources Office shall maintain validated standards for all positions. Candidates shall meet the minimum standard for training and certification prescribed by the Ohio Peace Officer Training Commission prior to permanent employment as a peace officer in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 109.73. In addition, candidates must meet the following minimum qualifications for employment with the Notre Dame College Police Department. They must have a high school diploma or GED. They must be at least 21 years old to apply. They must possess a valid Ohio driver's license. They must be a United States citizen and a resident of Ohio. Permanent residency by a non-citizen is not acceptable. They must be registered with the Selective Service System if they're legally required to do so. They must have completed or be currently enrolled in an Ohio Peace Officer Training Commission Basic Peace Officer Academy and must have their training status be in good standing. Applicants who require the OCLEAC Peace Officer Refresher Course may be considered as well. Applicant status will be verified upon the completion of an SF-400 and notice in return from the Ohio Peace Officer Training Commission. Applicants must also be able to conduct themselves both on and off duty in accordance with the core values of the Notre Dame College Police Department, which include professionalism, respect, integrity, discipline, being service-oriented, and seeking continuous improvement. The Chief of Police, in consultation with the Director of Human Resources, will review the personnel recruitment and hiring policy annually. This analysis will be documented and maintained in department files. Annual recruitment and hiring training should be provided for those members involved in the recruiting and hiring activities of the department. Training should include, but is not limited to, the recruitment and hiring plan, the department's Equal Employment Opportunity Plan, recruitment and hiring qualifications, the department's application and selection processes, and the department's annual review analysis of the recruiting and hiring process. This concludes this course on the hiring and recruiting processes and policies of the department. Any questions should be directed to the Chief of Police or to the department's training staff. You may now take the online course examination for this course.